morning, sailors. I'm over here at the mast stands starting to strip the hardware off the mast. It's going to be a pretty painful job, I suspect. First up, we're going to try to remove the two mast winches. I'm going to start by removing a couple of little clips, and then it comes apart pretty easily. Give it a little PV blaster. Well, the riggers were correct. Just about every fastener on this mast is frozen. I've applied generous quantities of PV blaster to a couple of them. We're gonna let them soak in for a day or so, and then come back with maybe a little bit of heat on a heat gun and an impact driver and see if any of them will move. And if not, then we'll have to come up with another plan. All right, well, that's the grand total of my success for today. Got a couple of the fasteners out, actually 5 of them. Unfortunately, also already stripped the heads on these Phillips head screws, so that's kind of messed up. Nothing else really wants to turn. I'm gonna keep soaking it in PV blaster and come back another day, see if they've loosened up. Okay, I've had some success here at removing the fittings of the mast. A couple of stubborn fittings remain. These cleats don't want to budge. The bolts, the fasteners holding the winches to the winch pads are still quite frozen. All of these fasteners that were for the previous location of the gooseneck, which had been moved up here, the boom had been raised, they've all been removed. I've loosened all these. I didn't want to take them all the way out. I need to turn the mast over so I can work on the other side. This little fair lead, unfortunately, these Phillips heads are stripped. I'm gonna have to get a Dremel and create a flathead opening there. Hopefully I'll get that out. This cam cleat, I've loosened it up. It's just keeping it in place there so I don't lose it. And I've loosened all the other fasteners. There are some fittings that are riveted. I have to drill those out. I think I'll leave that to the professionals. But even here, I was able to remove the fasteners holding the tangs on for the shrouds. And these fittings up here, that's the sheave for the topping lift for the whisker pole. You can see that's the sheave pin, holds that there. That's loose now. This is the halyard for the spinnaker. All of those fasteners are loosened up. This is the sheave pin for the sheaves, top of the mast. At any rate, I've made some good progress. I do have to come back, take this pin out so that I can access these flathead fasteners. There's another one of those type fittings all the way down at the bottom of the mast. Fairly. Haven't started on the boom yet. Here's the whisker pole track. That was a mission, getting all those fasteners out. But good progress. Ahoy sailors, quick update on the Sea Sprite mast refit. I've got the rigging removed. I've got almost all the fasteners off. Everything that I can remove, I've removed. Got to hand it over to the professionals now, let them take it from here. We're gonna get the old paint off, sanded down, primed and painted, and rewired. So continuing to make progress slowly but surely. Here I am with the mast again. Today we've marked up all of the holes that need to be closed and some of the fittings that we couldn't remove manually. We're going to have a welder cut off. So I'm going to show you that real quick. So everything with the orange tape on is going to be removed. The cleats, as I understand it, I couldn't get the bolts to move, not even to budge. So I understand is they'll cut that, they'll cut it there, they'll cut it there, and then they'll, if they can't put a vice grips on it or whatever and spin it off, then they'll cut them off. All of these holes where the orange tape is, they will all be closed up by the welder. We're going to remove the winches from the winch pads So all of those, none of these bolts would move. Lots of holes that need to be closed. Okay, well, we're back at the mast, and it's completely stripped of all fittings, and it's ready for final prep for the paint job. What is the final prep? Well, it's a lot of, as my good friend Mads would say, oh, glorious sanding, right? So we're gonna have to get out here and sand all this old paint off, get the mast essentially stripped down to bare aluminum so that they can prime it and then paint it. Let's take a quick look. Where the winch pads were. There's the spreaders. All the halyards. Lower shrouds. And they removed the masthead fitting.